Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to this special video. It's a video basically I probably won't be able to do for until maybe, well, at least I get a little bit more privacy, which won't be for another few weeks. Actually, another 2 weeks. Actually, more of a week from this Monday. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, where did I put that thing at? When you try to find something, you just can't find it now, can you? You know what I'm saying? I know I put my iPod somewhere. Oh, of course. I'm an idiot. No, I'm not really an idiot, but it's in the most obvious place. But I want to welcome you officially to what I like to call 2011 movie preview. Basically, these are movies that I'm looking forward to from my own perspective that are heading to theaters in the coming year. Now, I'm not going to list a lot of movies that are being released in the coming year because some of them we don't know the release dates for just yet. Excuse me. And some of them might even be moved, well, they might be pushed back, if you will. Well, not pushed forward, but pushed back. In other words, some of these movies may be pushed back all the way into the following year, which would be 2012. But let's talk about some of them. And I got a list of some of them coming out this year, coming out within the next year that look a little interesting to me. Now, of course, as we all know, the spring and the summer, of course, are going to be when we really start to take off with these movies. More importantly, May is when we're going to really take off, but apparently February is going to be the starting point, sort of like give us a taste of what's to come. For example, two movies that stick out to me are Gnomeo and Juliet and Big Mama's House, Like Father, Like Son. Which basically now has Martin Lawrence's character returning to reprise his role as Big Mama, if you will, as well as have his stepson, who's I guess his partner in the FBI, doing the same thing. So looks interesting, and these are both Gnomeo and Juliet, as well as Big Mama's House, Little Like Father Like Son. Look like they're going to be very interesting releases in February, and to me, I think are going to be the top movies of February. No doubt about it. It's going to be the kickoff point for February for movies. So February is going to have good movies, but I got a feeling the ones that are going to dominate are going to be Big Mama's House, Like Father Like Son, and Gnomeo and Juliet. I just got that feeling. Now, as we move forward, there's some other movies coming out in February, like Drive Angry 3D, sounds promising. And then on March 4th is another animated film called Rango. Now, you may have seen the trailers on this. Looks very interesting. It's got stars the voice of Johnny Depp. Looks interesting, I will admit that. But will it be the hit of March? Well, let's look a little further. We have the following week, we had Red Riding Hood. Now, this is more like a thriller, suspense thriller take on the fairy tale. Because instead of this, the big bad wolf, you got a werewolf. And you got Riding Hood falling, I think, for the woodsman, falling in love with the woodsman, which her parents are against. Well, that's according to the IMDb information on my IMDb app. So, but that's what it said. But also that day, we got something called Mars Needs Moms, which apparently is a animated feature film from what I could see. It's an animated feature film that basically has Martians kidnapping mothers. If you could believe that. And Seth Green is going to be the voice of one of the main characters. So that's going to be due out in March, basically a week after Rango. So it looks like March, along with February, but mostly March, is going to be the starting point to a lot of the blockbuster films of 2011. Or at least the ones people are going to look at as blockbuster films. Now, of course, there's another one, there's another one called Battle Los Angeles that has Aaron Eckhart and Michelle Rodriguez. Sounds promising, let's just say that. And then Friday, April 1st, will be Hop. Hop, which got advertised during the Thanksgiving Day Parade, will be making its debut on the big screen. It's got the voices of Russell Brand and James Marsden. It's basically centered on the Easter Bunny, believe it or not. I think that's what it is. Let me check. And well, according to this, it says the Easter Bunny is accidentally hit by a car. It's up to the offending driver to save Easter. Well, that's what it says. According to this, this is from Universal Pictures, and this is, like I say, courtesy of the IMDb app. It says, blending state-of-the-art animation with live action, Hop tells the comic tale of Fred, James Marsden, voiced by James Marsden, an out-of-work slacker who injures the Easter Bunny. Okay, maybe it's not a voice, but still. Basically, who accidentally injures the Easter Bunny and must take him in as he recovers. Now, as Fred struggles with the world's worst house guest, both will learn what it takes to finally grow up. Now, according to this, the film is directed by Tim Hill, who directed the blockbuster Alvin and the Chipmunks, and will be produced by Illumination Entertainment, which did Despicable Me. So according to this, it's a blending of live action and animation, so we'll see what happens there. Now, and then the following week after that, we've got Rio, another animated film coming out, which has been talked about a lot, as Jesse Eisenberg and Anne Hathaway in the film. Now let's take a look at the plots. Okay, it says when Blue, a domestic macaw from small town Minnesota, meets the fiercely independent Jewel, he takes off on an adventure to Rio de Janeiro with this bird of his dreams. Now Jesse Eisenberg voices Blue, Anne Hathaway voices Jewel, Jamie Foxx is in there, Leslie Mann. So it looks promising. Also that week, Mel Gibson comes out with a new film called The Beaver. Some have talked about that, thought it's pretty weird. See what happens there. But just like in March, this is back-to-back weeks. The two animated films will be in theaters after two back-to-back weeks. Will these be the animated blockbusters of April? We'll find out. Excuse me. Now, on April 15th, we have Scream 4. That's right, Scream 4 is going to make its theatrical debut. That may be the blockbuster winner of April of 2011. Another one's called Water for Elephants. Let's see what that is. It's a drama. So, that sounds promising. I have to look more into it. Then we got another movie. Then I don't know about this one. It's called LOL, which is Laugh Out Loud. So I don't know. That's coming out April 22nd. And then April 29th will be the fifth movie in the Fast and the Furious series. It's called Fast 5. Sounds promising. It's got Vin Diesel and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. We'll see what happens there. So far the ones that look like to me will be the blockbusters, if you will, the top films of April next year will be Hop, Rio, Scream 4, and I believe Fast 5 will take that slot. So those will be your top 4 films that'll be the top films of April. Now for May of next year, we start off on May 6th with the release of Marvel's Thor. That's right, Thor finally hitting the big screen in a long list of Marvel franchises that have been adapted as movies. I've seen the trailer already. It looks very promising. Looks very well done. I've got a feeling that this is going to be the top film, the #1 film of May for 2011, and it might be a candidate for one of the top films of the summer next year. And I'll get into that in a little bit. And then 2 weeks later, we got the newest the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean film, I believe. I think it's the fourth one. I think this is the fourth one they have made. Yeah, I believe this is the fourth one, maybe the third one. I don't really know. It's one of them. I think it's the fourth one. And this, along with Thor, will be also a top film of May next year. Now, The Hangover comes out 6 days later. That may be a top candidate for one of the top films of next year, Hangover Part 2. And then we end the year with Kung Fu Panda 2. So, this is what I look like. Thor, Pirates of the Caribbean 4, the fourth one, Hangover, and Kung Fu Panda 2 are going to be the top 4 films of May. Yes, they got other films for May to be released, like The Priest on the 13th, The Tree of Life on the same day Kung Fu Panda comes out. But besides those, the ones that I mentioned, Thor, Pirates of the Caribbean, Hangover Part 2, and Kung Fu Panda 2, I believe are going to be the top films for May of that year. Now, we start the next year off, then we start off June of next year, June 3rd, with X-Men First Class, the prelude film, the prequel film to the X-Men franchise. I have not seen the trailer yet. I don't even know if they released the trailer. No, they haven't. But from what people have been saying, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty good film. Definitely look forward to that, and I believe it's going to be a top film for not just June. I kind of feel it's going to be a candidate for one of the top films of the summer, and again, I'll get into that later. Now the following week we got Super 8, which comes out June 10th. Let's see what that is about. Doesn't say much on it. I think it's that sci-fi movie they've been talking about that really hasn't been hinted at much. So we'll just have to look at that. But what people are saying is, but if it lives up to its hypes, it may be a top movie for June. Maybe not top movie of the summer, but one of June's top movies. Then, June 17th, 14 days after Marvel's X-Men First Class comes out, June 17th, Green Lantern, DC's Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds in the lead role, makes its theatrical debut, so it's going to be a little bit of a superhero clash there. And I believe, along with X-Men First Class, it's going to be one of the top films of June, maybe one of the top films of the summer. Then we have, the following week, Cars 2 being released as well as along with the movie Rise of the Apes. Let's see what that one's about. It has James Franco in it. Not much. Sounds more science fiction, so that might be a good one. Might be good. But I believe for June of next year, during the summer, X-Men First Class, Green Lantern, Cars 2, and possibly, if it lives up to its hype, Super 8 are going to be your top 4 films. Now, maybe Rise of the Apes might make it a top 5, but we'll see what happens. But the ones I mentioned are your top 4 from what I've read and from what people have been talking about and from the hype that they've been getting. Then July 1st, Friday, July 1st next year, the first movie on the first day of July to be released, Transformers Dark of the Moon. The teaser trailer has already been released from what I have seen and from what millions of people have seen on YouTube and Dailymotion and you name it. It definitely looks like, not only is it definitely looks like it's going to be a great film. I mean, yes, it is the last film in the series from what Michael Bay has said. It's the last film, so it looks like they're going to go all out with this one. Definitely, I believe, going to be a top film of July and possibly a top film of the summer. But from what I have seen, this trailer just blows me away from what I saw, and I can tell you this. I have a feeling that day, before, I'm guaranteeing this, before the many theaters that will that will show this movie, including those that will show it in 3D, I guarantee you, before those theaters open up, there's going to be a line of people outside to see this movie, to see this third and final installment in the Transformer movie series, because of what they saw in the teaser trailer. And if that's what they're getting, like me, it's going to be worth watching. So to me, it's definitely going to be a top film of not only July, but maybe a top film of summer next year. Then the following week we have Zookeeper, which I think is a live action film, but has the characters being voiced by the likes, but has the animals in the zoo being voiced by the likes of Sylvester Stallone, Adam Sandler, John Farger, or whatever his name is, Cher, Jude Apatow, Fonzie Love, Jim Burrow, I can't pronounce some of these names, Bas Rutten. And again, I'm honestly telling you, I cannot really pronounce a lot of these names, but Zookeeper, starring Kevin James, with the voices of all these actors and actresses providing the voices that I mentioned, is going to be set for release a week after Transformers. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a top film of July. I may be wrong, but I really don't think so. I mean, we might be surprised, but I don't think so, because this movie, Zookeeper, is sandwiched in between Transformers, that comes out the week before, and it's sandwiched in between a movie coming out the following week, which is a sequel to a movie that has been released in theaters, and that is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 will be released on the 15th. So that tells me the Zookeeper movie is not going to succeed despite the cast that you have. And Harry Potter, no doubt, we all know, this is the final Harry Potter movie. No doubt is going to be a top film of July, maybe a top film of the summer of that year as well. Then the following week, you got Captain America, The First Adventure. Wham! Talk about really stacking it up, stacking everything up. Another Marvel film to be released a month after X-Men. So Marvel seems to be Marvel to me looks like they're going to want to dominate the theatrical aspects of the movies. So I believe this will also be a top film as well. Also being released that day will be Friends with Benefits. It has Justin Timberlake in it. Really, I don't really know much to say about this, but it looks like it's going to be more of a teen movie than anything else. Then on the last Friday of July, July 29th, Cowboys and Aliens. Let's see about that one. That sounds pretty good. That sounds promising. Yeah, it will be. And it's an action sci-fi thriller and a western. Basically, it takes place in 1873. So, where aliens invade the West, I guess. I don't know. It looks promising, sounds promising. We'll see what happens. Has Harrison Ford, Daniel Craig, just to name a few. And then, the same day, we got Crazy Stupid Love. It got Steve Carell in it. It's got Ryan Gosling in it. So, and it's a comedy, so if it's got Steve Carell and it's a comedy, it sounds like it's going to be good. But the ones I believe are going to be the top movies of July will be Transformers, Harry Potter, Captain America, and I believe Cowboys and Aliens are going to be the top 4 movies. I truly believe. And you know what? But you know what? July is not going to have top 4. Let's correct that. They're going to have a top 5. That's right, a top 5. Transformers, Harry Potter, Captain America, Cowboys and Aliens, I believe, is going to get in there. And Crazy Stupid Love is going to get in there. So top 5 movies of July. Some of those might even hit in the top movies of the summer. Then we kick off August with The Smurfs. This movie has been advertised, been talked about for a number of years. It's gone through a lot. It finally will be released unless they decide to push it forward or push it back. But it will be released according to this Wednesday, August 3rd. And with all the hype they're giving it, it better damn well be good. And I think it will be. And I believe it will be a top movie of August. Then the following month we got The Change Up, with the stars Ryan Reynolds, Jason Bateman. And it's basically a body switch film. Basically a best friend switching bodies with his co-worker or something like that. So it sounds promising. We might be surprised there. And then the following week we got The Help, which Emma Stone. I don't really know if this is going to be good. But also the same day we got Mr. Popper's Penguins with Jim Carrey. Sounds interesting. It's a comedy. And it basically talks about a businessman who begins to change after he inherits 6 penguins, and he transforms into his apartment into a winter wonderland. And well, you have to read the rest for yourself. But if it's a Jim Carrey movie and it sounds like his character is going to go that far, it's going to be a good one. So I got a feeling that's going to be a top film of August. Then the following week we got Conan the Barbarian and Spy Kids, All the Time in the World. Oh boy. I don't know about another Spy Kids movie, but I could say this. Conan the Barbarian is going to get a lot more people watching that than Spy Kids. Spy Kids will have a majority of just kids, so that's what would be expected. But that's August 19th. I'll tell you who I believe is going to be a top movie out of that for August. Alright, now we don't know what happens in between the last... Now IMDb does not list what happens in between the 19th and all the way from what happens between the 19th and the 23rd of September. So the 23rd of September will have movies like Moneyball. I don't know much about this. It's a drama. Oh, it's basically based on the it's a story. Basically, oh yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be a good one, especially around here. It's the story of Oakland A's general manager Billy Beane's successful attempt to put together a baseball club on a budget by employing computer-generated analysts to draft his players. And Brad Pitt's going to be Billy Beane. So and it is based on a true fact, I believe. Also on the 23rd we got Journey 2, which is the Mysterious Islands. It's got The Rock in it, from what I understand. And so it sounds like it's a fantasy film. Sounds like it's going to be a good one. Definitely, probably going to be a top movie of September. Then you got Abduction, which is an action thriller. And then on the 30th of September, you got Now, which, obviously not much is known about that one. Oh yeah, it's a sci-fi thriller now, so that sounds promising. Real Steel on the 17th. I don't know which one this is. Oh, it's a boxing drama in the near future with 2,000-pound robots that look like humans do battle. Action drama sci-fi, so that's going to be good. That might be interesting. The Three Musketeers on the 14th. Another remake, another version. It's going to be action, adventure, romance. It might look, it sounds pretty good. Anything on the Three Musketeers may sound good. The Thing, which is going to be a horror thriller, mystery thriller. It's not The Thing from Marvel. It's just based on I think one of the months. And then let's see. Then you got on the 21st you got Contagon. I can't even pronounce some of these names. Then the 4th of November you got Perks of Being a Wallflower. So that's going to be interesting. You got Tower Heist. I'm trying to see if these are going to be interesting or not. Oh, this might be good. It's got Ben Stiller on it. It's got Casey Affleck. So and Eddie Murphy. And Matthew Broderick. So that might be good. Then you got Immortals on the 11th. Oh, it's more like it's sort of like it's one of the Greek mythology movies. That might be good. Then you got the Twilight movie on the 18th of November, Breaking Dawn Part 1. And of course, all Twilight movies seem to do well when they're in theaters. Then you got The Muppets on the 23rd, the day before Thanksgiving. Then you got New Year's Eve, which is a comedy romance. It's got Robert De Niro in it. So then you got Hugo Cabret, set in the 1930s, Paris, family mystery. And then you got on that's on December 9th, December 16th of next year, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, and an untitled Sherlock Holmes sequel, so another Sherlock Holmes movie. And then on the 21st of December next year, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Now, I mentioned the ones that I feel are going to be the top movies of the summer for next year. Well, here's what I'm going to do. The top 5 movies I believe are going to definitely take the spots. So let's take a look at them. The top movies, they start out in May. Here's the ones. It's hard to decide on a lot of these good movies come out in the summer, but here's the ones I believe are going to take the spots. Thor will be one of them. Pirates of the Caribbean in 4 will be another. X-Men First Class will be a third one. Green Lantern will be a fourth one. And then the 5th one will be, of course, Transformers. Now I know you're thinking, well, Brian, that's probably stuff you like. Yes, it is, but I also understand you'll probably think, well, what about the other movies you mentioned? Yes, they will be top movies, but they will be they're like top 10 movies. Like, that's your top 5. You want to know who the bottom 5 are? So let's take a look at the bottom 5, shall we? The bottom 5 will be Hangover Part 2, Kung Fu Panda 2. I'm going to throw Super 8 in there at number 3, Cars 2 at number 4, and Harry Potter at number 5. Now you're thinking, well, what about Captain America? You mentioned that one. What about the Steve Carell movie? What about the Smurfs? Those movies have been hyped up. But the 10 I mentioned, I believe are going to be the top 10 movies of the summer. As you get into August, you get into the later part of the summer. Now, I will admit Smurfs may sneak in there and make it a top 10, may make it what Nostalgia Critic calls. Let's go Nostalgia Critic's route. Let's make it a top 11, and let's put